superstars. Welcome to the new episode of Uplifto podcast. I am your host, Harkirat Singh, and every week we invite thoughtful founders, leaders, movement ideas to our team from the startup world, sharing their insights which help each other to add value in the startup ecosystem and making the world a better place. So, this week with me today is Aman Gautam, the founder of UX Gorilla. I have always been inspired by his ideas and approach toward his startup. Aman is a writer, creator, and the most honest entrepreneur you will meet. He has a strong approach toward his job and got the courage to go for an extra mile. So, just like the other episodes, this is going to be an excited one. So, stay tuned till the end. Today, we are going to talk about balancing the business and technology in a startup. Once the episode ends, go ahead to the comment section for any questions and I will let you know about that. So let's Aman do the talking. Hey Aman, how are you doing, man?
Hi, Harkrat. Thank you for having me here.
Great, great. So, well, I'm super excited to have you in the episode on this sunny day. Please tell about your startup, UX Gorilla.
UX Gorilla is a UX and usability agency.
Mm-hmm.
We help our customers create more usable and more friendly
Okay.
interfaces by and a direct impact is visible on their sales.
Mm-hmm.
We're also a training company. We not just help our customers, we also help other people learn how to do user experience better.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the time you have put in really shows in the startup, actually, Aman. And the next question is here that I have observed that many products get listed on the beta list and product hunt. You also know about the product hunt and beta list,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay. So I have observed that many products get listed. So using lots of technology they have made. So
hmm
what would you recommend to them about the business or the technology they use?
actually, like most of the companies or the most of the products that go to product hunt or beta, that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So normally, what I normally recommend is like you should actually pick up a business problem first that is,
Yes.
big enough as a problem. Something. So there is a thing called as a painkiller or a
Absolutely.
or a vitamin.
Okay.
So whatever you are making, is it a painkiller or a vitamin? That is something you have to look.
The painkiller,
Uh,
the painkiller is you're talking about the business one.
exactly.
Okay.
So if your product is actually solving a big pain,
Mm-hmm.
that means it is a painkiller.
Okay.
But at the same time, if it is something that is adding a lot of value,
Mm-hmm.
and it is adding a lot of value, like do you feel that this is something like a great to have thing? It's
Yeah.
not a must have thing.
Yeah.
So that is more like a vitamin.
Okay.
So you have to actually differentiate like whether you are making a vitamin or a painkiller.
Mm-hmm.
That is number one thing. Number two is, that's actually if you're already on a product hunt,
Mm-hmm.
that definitely means like you are looking for, validation of your business idea.
Yes.
So many businessmen that I've interacted with, worked with in the past,
Mm-hmm.
what they do is like it's a very common practice to just develop the technology, spend months and months, developing the technology without validating the business side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is usually discouraged,
Oh yeah.
and and there are some really amazing frameworks. For instance, customer development.
Mm. Mm.
Uh, so you should actually do your customer development before building anything completely.
Okay, great. So, Aman, the next question.
Okay.
I have worked with several startups in the past months, and what I have observed that some of the startups have
hmm
a co-founder with a good business sense.
hmm
So, do you think that it is important for a startup to have a co-founder with having good business skills or sense other than technology?
for most of the startups, yes. I mean, there can be multiple startups. So if but as a rule of thumb, rule of thumb, I say like it is quite crucial to have somebody who has business sense, and business sense it actually may mean common sense. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is. I think it is something you must have some sort of a business sense, some
Mm-hmm.
sort of like, for instance, even in our company,
Mm-hmm.
we firmly believe that marketing is everyone's job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By that what we mean is like if even if an employee is going out and talking about what we do,
Mm-hmm.
that is something that helps us build or destroy a brand.
Yeah. Definitely.
So
Definitely.
so that has been one of our focus from the very beginning to ensure that we every it's like the marketing is everyone's responsibility
Mhm.
in whatever way they can.
Okay. So in your company, you are a co-founder in a technology or a business ground?
So I majorly handle technology, but
Okay.
yes, as I mentioned, I take care of the digital marketing as well.
Okay, you take for digital marketing, and your co-founder is based on pure technology,
No, no, she is from design background.
so on design background.
Yeah, we
Okay.
are actually looking for another. We are actually looking for co-founders to join us in our team in
Mm-hmm.
our next project.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, we're looking for somebody who has complete sales or a marketing background.
Okay.
But yeah, that's again the reason it's a good question is
Mm-hmm.
because if even if you don't have anybody in the company
Yes.
who is taking care of business full time,
Mm-hmm.
either one someone will have to take care of that.
Yeah.
Someone will
Definitely.
have to because
Definitely.
that is how it will work.
Got it. Got it. So how you have a product, you have a service in UX Gorilla.
Hmm.
So before making that, do you align the technology development with business requirement, or do you think about it?
Actually, it's less about alignment. Technology normally follows the business requirement.
Yes.
If there is a business requirement, we find out like what is the best way to do it, and then the rest of the process follows. So everything, again, there can be two type of companies that you are working for.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, the companies like us, ours, what we have to do is we have to get the business requirement, think about the business requirement, the customers,
Mm-hmm.
the users first,
Mm-hmm.
and then come out with the solutions.
Okay. Okay.
At the same time, there can be some other companies, in one of the prior companies that I worked with,
Mm-hmm.
it was an R&D company.
Okay.
So our focus was, to just invent stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They may have business value, they may not have business value.
Okay.
But, we were actually, it was a huge KPI for us to have patents on our name.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't matter, whether the parent have a business value or not. So yeah, it depends from company to company, but for most of the company, more than 90% of the startups that are out there, uh, technology should always be there to fulfill a business requirement, to fulfill a customer's need.
So, that was the part of the fun part, Mr. Aman. So in
Hmm.
this part, now I will be asking you some single questions which have to answer in one word.
Okay.
It's like a rapid fire round. It's a fun for all, for all of them.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
UX,
um, Experience,
technology,
man. Most of the things, they just boil down to the technology means customers.
okay, team,
I mean, I'll say the word strength.
strength, okay, and founder.
Um, you can say the visionaries.
Okay. So now I want to ask that when you started the UX Guerrilla,
Uh-huh.
what was the idea behind it?
So we realized that many of the products that are out there, the companies that we work with,
Mm-hmm.
previously I worked with a few companies, and few startups.
Mm-hmm.
The common theme that I saw
Mm-hmm.
was that, we were building products, we were spending time in building products,
Mm-hmm.
but, most of the products were failing
Mm-hmm.
back to back to back,
Yeah.
it was failing again and again.
Yes.
So there was something wrong.
Okay.
So that was the reason, why I was not able to figure out like what is the thing that is that is what we are missing actually.
Mm-hmm.
So we started exploring multiple avenues. We realized that user experience is something that can actually make or break a product. Even if your technology is amazing, even if your response time is like less than a millisecond, for any server, you can handle a very scale. You have a very scalable server.
Yes.
The interface looks really beautiful.
Yeah.
Even then, it can fail.
Mm.
And the reasons may actually because you really need to identify and evaluate whether you are actually meeting the user requirements or the user needs or not.
Yeah.
So this is something that has to be taken care of.
Missing in the market. This was missing in the market.
So yes. So there's a part of it is actually market research.
Mm-hmm.
Another part of it is user research.
Yeah.
So user research really has to be aligned with your product. User research can actually be in multiple ways.
Okay.
I mean, what is user research? So it can actually mean a quite quite a lot of things.
Reading
So
reading about the customers, your target customers is the user results.
so there are two things. One is the customer,
Okay.
another is the user.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, let's take an example of a product that you're building for kids, let's
Okay.
say.
Sure.
Okay, so whether if you're developing a toy, creating a toy for
Mm-hmm.
kids,
Mm-hmm.
so your actual users
Mm-hmm.
are these kids,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But at the same time, your customer will be the parents,
Yes. Definitely.
right? So this is the user research basically means that whatever product that you are building,
Mm-hmm.
there should be a need for that from the user perspective, not the market perspective or the customer perspective,
Okay.
but from the user perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So if we put the user at the center and we find their pain, gain, and jobs,
Mm-hmm.
the framework for that, right? Finding like what are the pains that they have,
Mm-hmm.
what are the jobs that they're trying to accomplish,
Mm-hmm.
what do they achieve by doing those jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So when we find more and more information about our users
Mm-hmm.
and try to align a product with them,
Okay.
that is user research in a nutshell. If I put it in some words.
Okay. So user research is a part of a business only. Business work, not technology part.
User research is actually user research. Like it has to go with the technology and
Mhm.
business.
Yeah.
It has to go parallel in parallel.
Okay.
And this is actually an independent thing. You can say like there's a technology, there's business.
Okay.
But user research is it ideally should be part of the product
Mm-hmm.
and business both.
Okay. Oh.
Mm.
Okay. So the last questions of this podcast that I have wondered, what's the best advice that you can give to the budding entrepreneurs or startup founders who are listening to this podcast?
I'll say like get help, the most of the
Well,
times get help.
okay. Okay.
So most of the times what happens is like as a startup we always have lack of resources.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It
Agree.
may mean lack of time, it may mean lack of human resources, it may mean lack of funds.
Yes.
It's quite common.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you need, there's already somebody out there who has done it before you.
Mm-hmm.
There's already somebody who feels the same pain, who wants to solve the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
He may not have the time, but he may have some
The resources to give you.
resources, funds that they can provide you with, and so the main thing is like find your tribe,
Mm-hmm.
get help,
Mm-hmm.
make things happen.
Great.
At the same time, launch. Don't let your, and especially for techies out there,
Mm-hmm.
don't let your dream die in a private Git repo. Launch.
Yeah, true, true. So I'm very inspired by you, Mr. Aman, and
Thank you.
thank you so much for having it to here in this podcast. And good luck for your startup, your Skrilla. But before going, please let my audience know how they can find you.
You can find me on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
You can just search for Aman Gautam. I'm usually I'm very active on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So other than that, I'm also on Facebook. You
Mm-hmm.
can also find me on Twitter
Mm-hmm.
_Gautam. So and you can also find me on GitHub Aman-Gautam.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, you'll find me on most social media.
No social media. You active user.
Except Instagram, yes.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much again, Mr. Aman, and good luck for your startup, your Skrilla.
Thank you so much, Akshat. Have a great day.
Thank you everyone for listening this podcast. And I am your host Harkirat, and I will be bringing the next episode to our podcast very soon. Subscribe to this podcast for new updates. Thank you so much.